You started doing the work. You began healing, setting boundaries, saying no to things that drained you, choosing peace over chaos, becoming more aware of who you are and what you actually want from life. And something strange happened. The people around you, some of them, started pulling away. The invitations dried up. Conversations became surface level. People who once cheered you on grew quiet, or worse, cold. And you found yourself asking a question that nobody prepares you for. Why does growing feel so lonely? Today we are going to answer that question completely. And what you discover might change how you see every relationship in your life. Welcome to Enter Self, a space for those committed to the journey inward. Today we're exploring one of the most psychologically fascinating and emotionally painful experiences on the path of self-discovery. The moment your growth becomes a mirror that other people cannot bear to look into. This is not about blame. It is not about making enemies or seeing yourself as a victim. It is about understanding, at a deep psychological level, what is truly happening when the people around you resist who you are becoming. And more importantly, what that resistance is trying to show you about yourself. Part 1. The paradox of growth. Here is the paradox nobody tells you about personal growth. The more you evolve, the more you become yourself, the more uncomfortable you make the people around you. Not because you have done anything wrong, but because your growth holds up an invisible mirror to everyone in your life. And in that mirror they see, often for the first time, the gap between who they are and who they could be. Carl Jung understood this dynamic deeply. He wrote that people will do almost anything to avoid confronting the contents of their own unconscious mind. When you begin doing the inner work, healing your wounds, confronting your shadow, refusing to play unconscious social games, you are doing the very thing that the people around you are most afraid to do. And fear, in human beings, almost always looks like one of two things: withdrawal or attack. Part 2. The shadow projection mechanism. To understand why your growth triggers others, we have to return to Jung's concept of the shadow. As we explored in a previous video, the shadow is the unconscious part of the personality where we store everything we have rejected, suppressed, or denied about ourselves. Here is what most people don't realize. When someone in your life sees you doing the work they have been avoiding, something happens in their unconscious mind. Your growth activates their shadow. It surfaces their buried shame about their own unhealthy patterns. Their suppressed awareness that they are living inauthentically. Their denied grief about the person they could have become. And because the shadow is unconscious, they don't experience this as self-awareness. They experience it as a feeling directed at you. Suddenly you seem arrogant to them, or you think you're better than everyone, or you've become strange, different, too much. What they are actually experiencing is called shadow projection. They are taking the discomfort that belongs to them and placing it onto you. Jung wrote, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." The people who react most strongly to your growth are the ones whose shadow is most loudly asking them to do the same work you are doing. Part 3. The 5 ways your growth silently threatens others. Let's get specific. Here are 5 ways your personal growth silently creates resistance in the people around you. Number 1. You stop being who they needed you to be. Every relationship has an unspoken contract. You play a role. The funny one. The reliable one. The people pleaser. The one who never says no. When you begin healing, you stop playing that role. And the people who depended on that version of you, consciously or not, feel destabilized. Their world made sense when you were predictable. Your growth has broken the contract they never even knew existed. Number 2. Your boundaries expose their patterns. When you begin setting healthy boundaries, saying no, communicating your needs, refusing to tolerate disrespect, something interesting happens. The people who respected you before will respect you more. But the people who are benefiting from your lack of boundaries will resist you intensely. Your no is not just a refusal. To them, unconsciously, it is an accusation. It reveals what they have been taking, and people will often attack the mirror rather than examine their own reflection. Number 3, your peace disturbs their chaos. Some people are addicted to drama, conflict, and emotional volatility, not because they are bad people, but because it is the only emotional environment they have ever known. When you cultivate inner peace, when you stop reacting, stop feeding the drama, stop engaging with chaos, your stillness becomes deeply unsettling to them. Calm is foreign. It reads as coldness, as disconnection, as superiority. What they cannot yet understand is that your peace is not a rejection of them. It is an invitation they don't yet know how to accept. Number 4, your awareness sees through their masks. As you grow in self-awareness, you naturally develop greater awareness of others. You begin to see patterns, games, and masks more clearly, and people sense when they are being truly seen. For those with a lot to hide, from themselves and others, being in the presence of someone genuinely self-aware feels deeply threatening. They cannot manipulate what they cannot fool. They cannot control what they cannot destabilize. So they create distance. Or they attempt to destabilize you before you can see them too clearly. Number 5, you remind them of unlived potential. This is perhaps the most painful one. When someone who knew you before your growth watches you transform, they are confronted with a question they may not be ready to answer. If they could change, why haven't they? Your transformation is living proof that change is possible. And for someone who has spent years telling themselves that change is impossible, that proof is not inspiring. It is threatening. Because now they can no longer use impossibility as an excuse. Part 4. What this is really showing you. Here is the reframe that changes everything. The resistance you are experiencing from others is not a sign that you are doing something wrong. It is a compass. The relationships that survive your growth, the people who stay, who celebrate you, who grow alongside you, those are your true relationships. They are being revealed to you through this process. The relationships that dissolve, the people who cannot hold the new version of you, those relationships were built on a version of you that no longer exists. Their dissolving is not a tragedy. It is a completion. Jung called this process individuation, the lifelong journey of becoming your most authentic self. And he was clear that the path of individuation is not painless. It requires the courage to let go of the relationships, roles, and identities that belong to the person you used to be. Grief is part of growth. It is not a sign you have gone wrong. It is a sign you have gone deep. Part 5. What to do when you recognize this pattern. So what do you actually do when you find yourself in this dynamic? First, do not shrink. The most common response to social resistance is to go back, to become smaller, to stop growing in order to preserve the comfort of others. This is the path of the most profound self-betrayal. Your growth is not negotiable. The people who truly love you will adapt. The ones who don't needed a version of you that was never truly free. Second, have compassion without capitulating. Understanding that someone's resistance comes from their own shadow doesn't mean excusing harmful behavior. It means you don't have to take it personally. Their reaction is about them. Your continued growth is about you. Third, grieve what needs to be grieved. Losing relationships, even unhealthy ones, is painful. Give yourself permission to feel that pain fully. Don't rush through it. Don't spiritually bypass it with positivity. Grief honored becomes wisdom. Fourth, seek your new circle deliberately. As you grow, you will need to seek out people who are on the same path, not perfect people, not people who have it all figured out, but people who are also committed to going inward. These people exist. They are waiting for you in the places growth takes you. There is a beautiful and difficult truth at the heart of every genuine self-discovery journey. You cannot become who you truly are and keep every relationship exactly as it was. Growth is change. And change, by its nature, rearranges everything, including the people in your life. Jung wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." That privilege has a price. The price is the willingness to be misunderstood by those who knew the version of you that no longer exists. It is the courage to keep growing even when growing feels lonely. It is the faith that the relationships and connections that belong to who you are becoming are already on their way to you. You did not start this journey to make everyone comfortable. You started it to finally become free. Keep going. The path inward always leads somewhere worth arriving. If this video put words to something you have been quietly experiencing, share it with someone on the same journey. Subscribe to Enter Self. Every week, we go deeper into the psychology of who you are and who you are becoming. Our video on the shadow self is linked right here. Watch it next. It will make everything we explored today even clearer. Until next time, keep going inward. I'll see you on the other side.